Welcome on in here to Sports Memo Today. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, and we're happy to be here with you for another week of great shows here on Sports Memo TV and, of course, Wager Talk TV as well. We would love it if you hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our programming at either channel. And just one guest today. It's an all Dan edition here for you. And I don't get it. It's kind of been a running bit when I have Dan Kaiser on that people just run for the hills. I guess they can't hang with his excellent handicapping style. He's on the road heading to Vegas, and he still makes time for you folks here today. But Dan Kaiser, our $2 Tuesday handicapper, one of three here at sportsmemo.com. He's got a 5-star play up for the Cup, and then we got a play from the Gold Sheet and one from Kevin Thomas on the Diamond. So we got an NBA play, we got an MLB play, then we got an NHL play. We get it all covered here on Sports Memo Today, and we get it all covered in 30 minutes or less. I might even throw down the gauntlet and say we're looking at 15 minutes or less today, because I know my man Dan Kaiser is itching to get down to the Strip as he's having a great time in sunny Las Vegas. How we doing, Dan? Always a good pleasure to see you, man.
Man, I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here. I made the flight 10 minutes before they were closing the doors. A good flight here, and I get to Vegas and I find out I'm the only one on here once again. And I just don't understand it because, hey, listen, who shouldn't be up against this face and get some good cred? But hey, to each their own. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take all the screen time I can get.
Hey, Dan, I look at that face and I say, there's a trustworthy guy who I want to buy his $2 Tuesday play. That's what I look at and see, my guys. So, hey, let's talk all NHL here today. The playoffs kicking off, and I couldn't be more excited about it. I do the production behind the scenes for Puck Time, so I wasn't crazy into hockey before starting my time here at Wager Talk, and now I'm always placing wagers on it. So let's start with your series-long wager, and this is one that the dais on Puck Time definitely see an eye to eye with you. How are you breaking down the Colorado Avalanche and the Seattle Kraken series here, Dan?
Yeah, thanks a lot. I love the NHL playoffs. I just seem to thrive in those, and I pick and choose during the regular season. I've had a really good record doing that, but I just love the playoffs and this series. I mean, look, you got the Colorado, the defending Stanley Cup champs. And they're dealing with some injuries here. Landeskog will not be playing in the playoffs this year. Makar's skated in the last practice, so he's expected to get some time in this one. So, they're not the same team they were last season, but I still like their chances to go far in the playoffs. I think it could come down to them in Edmonton to see who probably faces Boston for the Cup. I mean, they still have an elite offense that can score not only at even strength, but on the power play. And with this team, they also have the talent that they can score on the penalty kill. So they're never one shot or one play away from scoring. My problem with this team, and it's been my problem with this team all season, betting on them is their goaltending. The end of the season, the last game of the season, they won 4-3, and I had them on the puck line. They were up 3-1. They gave up a couple of goals, but they still won the game. I just think they get complacent between the pipes, and they know they can score. The goalie knows they can score at will and doesn't bear down a lot when they do have the lead. But in saying that, the Kings, I think the Kings can make things interesting. I mean, they have the ability to score goals with Colorado, but I just think the Avs have too much on both ends of the ice, offensively and defensively, and they will prevail in the series. I know it's big money, but Warren Buffett doesn't lay back on big purchases. Sometimes you gotta lay the money to make the money, and I think Colorado is a sure thing in this one, and so I'm gonna lay the big money and take Colorado to win the series.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, the only time that you're paying juice is on a losing wager. So, tie it up there for a little
Exactly.
bit, and hey, maybe they get it done in 4 and you get that ROI right back rather quickly. Dan Kaiser saying, lay the lumber with the Avalanche as they're taking on the Kraken. That's play number 1 there for you, a little series long. And then we also wanted to take a look at the Rangers and the Devils tonight. Now, this one, Dan, I think is just a story of inexperience versus experience. You have the Devils, who have all kinds of players who are they going to be gripping the sticks a little bit tight. You have a strong defense in the Rangers and plenty of playoff experience. All players on their roster have seen some time here in the playoffs. So I don't know, how are you going to be betting this one? Do the Rangers jump out to an early lead, or are you looking more towards the total in game 1?
To be honest, I'm looking at the total in this one, and I liked kind of a little bit how you broke that down to begin with. And I wish I would have talked to you before. I might have used that a little bit into this breakdown, but no. To be honest, I'm probably going to go against the grain. Be going against the grain in this one. I know I hear a lot of people talking about high scoring affair between these two teams. 3 out of the 4 regular season games went over the total. But I'm going to ride the same mantra I rode last season for most of the playoffs, and that is in Igor I trust. Last season the Rangers and Igor played a lot of low scoring games, and it is playoff hockey. It is Stanley Cup playoff hockey. So those games tend to be lower scoring. The defenses do step up, and I look at these two teams. The Devils have allowed just 8 goals, or the 8th fewest goals in the NHL this season. And as I said, the Rangers, they have last year's Vezina a winner in Igor Shesterkin between the pipes, and they allowed the 4th fewest goals this season. I know the Rangers can score a ton of goals at times, but also at times they don't score, and they rely on their goaltending and their defense. And I just think, as you said, you got the inexperience of New Jersey, and I think they will play this one a little bit closer to the vest, a little more on the defensive end. And I just like this game to go under the number.
Yeah, and also just backing that up towards just looking at totals and system plays, we have some numbers from our man Ralph Michaels, the stat daddy over at wagertalk.com. He just crunched what totals have done since 2018, and games lined at 5.5 are nearly 60% towards the under. 210 and 150 since 2018, games lined at 5.5. So the spot kind of backs it up. And if you're a system player, the system aligns with how you're looking too, Dan.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And thanks for playing that one. I didn't actually, thanks to Ralph, didn't really know that. And I had looked at that. But yeah, but you look at this whole season, 5.5. Everybody seems to be betting the over because there's a lot of goals scored during the regular season. But it's not the regular season anymore. And if you watched any hockey, in your lifetime, playoff hockey is a different thing than regular season hockey. And the defenses usually step up, and you get a goaltender that can stand on their head. And that Igor can stand on his head and stand on 2 heads if he had one. I mean, that guy's incredible. I just think, I just think this game's going to be not as exciting for the PlayStation fan, but it's going to be exciting for me as an under better.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I have just as much fun sweating out unders as I have any high-scoring affairs. So I'll be riding right alongside you. Dan Kaiser, you can check him out at sm.buzz, /DK. He's got a 5% play up right now. And also, you got Kevin Thomas and the Gold Sheet with $2 Tuesday plays every Tuesday here at Sports Memo. We put them all together for just $5. Now, I wouldn't suggest using the promo code Try Memo on that $5 package because then you're going to get it for $2.50. We have a great promo going on, Try Memo, where if it's your first time ever purchasing a pick here at wagertalk.com or sportsmemo.com, you can use that code Try Memo and it'll chop 50% off a 1-day all access or 3-day pack that you can grab there. So while you might want to use the profits you win off of these guys on $5 to roll it on over and get one of those 1 day or 5 days, man, it's going to be a terrific promo, and that's running about through the middle of next month. So you want to get in on that now. It's Try Memo here at Sports Memo, and it's Try WT over at wagertalk.com. Big thanks to Dan Kaiser being my solo guest here today. I promised you in 15 minutes or less, and ring the bell because we got it done nearly in 10 minutes. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Make sure you ride with us, and we appreciate you tuning in. If you like the show, all we ask you to do, hit subscribe, hop below in the comments whether you agree or disagree. Who do you think is going to be winning in the first round? Any series prices that you're going to be laying? We'd love to hear from you there. Big thanks, as I said, to Dan. Big thanks to my man Eric behind the scenes doing a terrific job. Until Thursday, I'm your host, Dan Alexander, and best of luck on your wagers.